Hello and happy new... I click the fucking name. Every time. Okay.
We got this.
Yep. I can't believe it. The first one
Cool,
back.
calm, collected.
Forgot everything. Forgot what I used to do. Clip the...
Just like old times.
Hello and happy new year and welcome to the first Scrambled Checksum episode of 2024. I'm one of your hosts, Kieran, a guy who watched a bunch of programming videos over the holiday period, thought I might be learning something, and then immediately, when I started my first project, had to look up how to loop through an array again. And I'm joined by my co-host, Ethan, a guy who I proudly showed one of my very first programming projects from age 16, and he wasn't impressed by my MP3 organizer because it couldn't organize MP3s, even though it had a function to choose different themes for the program. Ethan, why did you hate my software?
I mean, you know, I think it was kind of it all went downhill from the point where it didn't do the thing that it said on the name was probably the beginning of it.
It looked like it was going to, though. It had all the buttons.
It did look like it, which is, you know, to be fair, it would be a great foundation for a bit of, freeware, like the front end of some kind of horrific piece of malware. Maybe.
it did have that malware look, didn't it?
Yeah.
Was it the themes?
Looks. The themes were cool, but there's no point in having a theme to a piece of software that literally just looks like it does something instead of actually doing it.
But you could make your own themes.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's more than I've ever achieved in software development, so I'll give you that.
It was also, a piece of Windows software, so is now completely worthless because it doesn't run in the browser, but it looked like it was going to do something. I swear I've used online services that, looked like they were going to do something and then didn't.
Well, that is true.
And they had actual malware, not just looked like they had malware in them.
Yeah, well, maybe the next step is write the malware.
Exactly, that was what I was missing. But speaking of online services, how's this for a segue? The online service of YouTube has recently lost what I would call one of its elder statesmen.
Oh, yes.
The venerable Thomas Scott.
He has hung up the red T-shirt, as it were. Although, well, I don't know. He was still wearing it, to be fair, when he hung it up.
And he's also on. He still wears it on lateral, right? He's not just like.
Yeah, but he hung himself up from a helicopter.
That is actually very astute.
That sounds actually worse than it. Actually, he didn't hang himself.
No, he very much he went out on his own terms, but not in that sense. He's just left the platform for he hasn't even really left the platform, has he? Actually, we're saying like he's shutting down the channel.
I don't know. It's kind of like he kind of left it quite open ended, didn't he? What did you think to his final video?
I thought it was pretty cool. I thought like that was a very Tom Scott. It reminded me of like a bigger version of when when he burned that grey hoodie.
Oh yeah.
It was like that, but on a bigger scale, like that, but he had more budget behind it.
I love how he casually mentioned the helicopter thing, like as he's walking along.
That was very
kind
Tom
of like,
Scott. The callback.
It was kind of like, and I just assumed it must be him mentioning. It must have been like some goal that he set in like one of his earliest videos or something, like back before I was watching him.
I thought it was going to be either that or some kind of place that he really wanted to go to, but he never got round to it, and then the place got shut down or demolished or something.
Yeah. And then he actually dangled from a helicopter and flew off into the sunset.
That was a pretty baller move, to be fair.
That is a pretty baller move.
Like, if
he was just like so casual about it.
Yeah, because like they actually hooked him on there and then. I assume there was like some cuts in between, but they gave him the safety brief and didn't just lift him up. But
yeah, but it's like it was so uncool that it was cool. If you know what I mean, like it was so like Tom Scott. Like, there's nothing there's nothing cool about Tom Scott.
I think he had all the like if you would have been one of these like influencer types and you'd been dangling from a helicopter, you'd have done the big bombastic intro, and then you'd have been like, I don't know.
What's up, guys? My name's Tom Scott. Today I'm gonna dangle from a motherfucking helicopter.
Oh no swearing. No swearing.
Hashtag no spawn. No. Hashtag YouTube censorship. Hashtag brought to you by Blue Pills.
No, not NordVPN. That's Tom Scott's actual sponsor. Like friggin' Raid Shadow Legend or
brought to you by Raid Shadow Legend and
Temu.
Stop! Don't lose your hair.
It's all Manscaped and all the other ones.
Manscaped.
They'd have while they'd been flying, they'd have been like throwing something out of the helicopter, or I don't know, doing. It was like he had all the safety harnesses on. He was like very clear that he did the briefing.
I dropped my phone from 10,000 feet.
Yeah,
you
something
won't
like
believe
that.
what happened next.
Yeah, exactly.
Hashtag
ad for the
gone sexual
for the mouse case or something like that.
Oh fuck me, the mouse case.
Yeah, so it'd have been that kind of stunt, but like with Tom Scott, he was just like so, I don't know, just so like you said, uncool with it, but in like a really cool way.
The Tom Scott final video in a mouse case. Let's go.
Yeah. We put Tom Scott in a mouse case and threw him off this helicopter.
Yeah, we threw Tom Scott off a building in a mouse backpack. He survived.
Exactly.
Oh,
I genuinely would watch that video, to be fair, of someone like.
I actually want to kind of want to see if the mouse cases are actually.
What if they would protect a human, or
no, if
really
they just protect anything.
I assume so. I mean, the guy does throw them up in the air in the ads, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's not fake.
I don't know.
I think they're just like it's probably a very good product.
Yeah.
I don't think they're like. I don't think the
Can
product.
we say that? This feels like it's not very on brand.
I don't think. I just haven't. From what I've seen, the product does look pretty cool.
Yeah.
But he's just so.
I think this the marketing style is just something I really hate.
Yeah, they're just so annoying that you assume that it might not be.
Yeah.
And then you're like, you know.
They're so overly enthusiastic about an iPhone case.
It's like the JML videos if they were made by influencers.
Or
oh my god, that's totally a video.
Like Carl Pei with nothing.
Yeah, that like kind of like over the top.
Yeah, and he turned out to be an excellently trustworthy character.
Yeah, great
obviously.
person.
Yeah, just hand over your Apple ID so you can get iMessage on Android.
Yeah, don't worry about
it. Don't think about it.
Yeah,
like, just give us your login.
Just hand it over. It's fine.
Don't worry about it.
Honestly, would you watch a video of like someone doing a JML? For those of you who don't know, JML's like a kind of infomercial type product, like an as seen on TV type product. Would you watch a video of like people doing that in like an influencer style? Because I just imagine that'd be hilarious.
I actually don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know JML products?
No, what JML?
Have you never been into a store and they've had a little TV with like a retail display, and it will be like
like they don't have them anymore. Like they used to have in Decathlon with like or like
it'll have like one product.
Wilco's.
Yeah, Wilco's.
Yeah.
Also no longer with us, but it'll have
Rest
like
in peace.
It'll have like a load of products, like all the same product on like a display, and then a little TV playing a video on loop that's kind of like badly made. But how funny would one of those be if it was like an influencer advertising it?
Like ShamWow.
Yeah, but not like he was kind of already doing it that way, but like that kind of vibe where it's like I'm trying to think of a JML product, like some like the magic mop or some crap like that. Like, hey guys, I'm back here with the magic mop. I've spilled 16 liters of Coke all over my mansion floor. Check out this mop, like that kind of style. I feel like that would be quite hilarious.
Yeah, bring the hype.
I'd actually quite like to make that. If you're listening, please don't steal that idea. Anyway, Tom Scott.
Let's add it to the long list of videos that we'll never make
because they're too much work.
Yeah.
Actually, genuinely would quite like to make that. But anyway, Tom Scott, absolute hero of YouTube. I was sad actually that I'm no longer. It's such a ritual for me watching him every Monday.
Yeah, you were properly into like religiously watching the Tom Scott videos
every Monday, just immediately.
Yeah. How long have you been watching Tom Scott?
So I think one of the first I've been watching him since he was on Number File.
Okay, yeah.
So that's what put me onto him. I don't know how long he'd been doing things you might not know at that point, but it was not Number File, Computer File. So the first time I saw Tom Scott was when he did his videos about like time zones and stuff on Computer File.
Yeah.
I don't know how long though that was into his things you might not know, but I watched him on there. I was like, wow, this guy like explains things in a really cool way. And then I watched enough of them that the algorithm served me up his channel. I was like, oh, it's the Computer File guy. Because I thought he was like a computer scientist. Like I guess like he worked in web development, from what I understand.
Yeah.
So like he was like kind of a developer, but yeah, that's how I got into him. How about you?
I think I saw him on Computer File as well. I think that's probably where he originally came up. I'm not sure how I discovered Computer File.
I think that just kind of like it just appeared in the algorithm for me one day.
Yeah, I'm kind of jealous that you like in the last like 6 months or so, we've both lost a staple YouTube channel that we've watched religiously.
Yeah.
But yours has gone out on a high note, and mine's still making content, but I'm just horribly jaded and don't want to remember they exist in any way anymore.
That's not to say I didn't have any fondness for your particular channel, but it is kind of galling to still see them basically riding high.
Yeah. Although, I mean, the jury's still out, I guess, isn't it, on whether things are as bad as say it. But I'm pretty. I'm still pretty.
Pretty salty. Yeah.
I'm pretty salty. He says as he drinks out of a branded water bottle from their store,
seasoned with tears. I do love that Tom Scott went out on a high. I think he's just such a I don't know, I feel like he's in that list of creators where you just can't ever imagine anything bad coming out against them.
Yeah.
The worst I can imagine coming out against Tom... in all the years he's been on the platform, I can't think of a single time when he's ever gotten, backlash for anything. And, on any level. Even just oh, Tom, this video was in poor taste.
Yeah.
I can't think of a single...
I can't believe you took a selfie outside Auschwitz, Tom.
I literally can't think of a single
can't
time.
Believe you shot that vlog in that suicide forest.
Honestly, in all the places Tom Scott has been, I can't think of a single time when they've been oh, Tom, you're a bit disrespectful here, or oh, Tom, you didn't... Even if he's got something wrong, no one's been oh, Tom, you poorly researched this, that's a big mistake. Or I literally cannot think of a single time.
When he made that video about how the number on the dial on a toaster isn't actually the number of minutes that it'll toast your toast for, and then the toaster actually finished exactly.
That was hilarious, yeah.
But he just left it in. That was
brilliant. He's just such a good guy. I like that he managed to get really big on YouTube with basically being a pretty private guy.
Yeah.
There's no one's doing a parasocial... I mean, I'm sure some people did, but no one's really doing the parasocial thing with Tom Scott, because he's just it's very separate. You're it's he's playing a part when you see him on camera. You're watching a presenter on a TV show, not Tom Scott the person.
Yeah.
I've been watching him all those years, but I wouldn't ever be oh yeah, I know Tom Scott.
Oh yeah, me and Tom we go
even
well
watching
back.
the park bench, it's still, even though it's him and Matt, it's not
there was that one episode. You stalked us online. Please don't do it again. Yeah. Where they asked people to figure out where they were.
Oh yeah, and didn't people figure it out super quickly or something, and it frightened them?
Yeah, I think it was when they were chasing the eclipse, weren't they, in the US, and they tried to get people to, or they got people
they were in that field.
Figure out where they were watching the eclipse from, based on just watching that video, basically.
Wasn't there a particularly rare type of grass?
I think it was a number of things. I seem to remember the final the confirmation thing was someone used contrails that were in the sky,
and then matched
and they knew what time it was, and matched it up to data from Flight Radar 24, which was that was just I watched that and I was oh my fucking god, that was ridiculously easy.
I think it was the fact that they had I think there was a particular, I'm sure it was some kind of thing in the vegetation that only grew
or some kind of wildlife in the background.
Yeah. But that's scary because it's you could really easily film a video, and if you weren't from that area, you wouldn't be oh, this only grows here in one other place in the world.
Yeah.
Wasn't there something with shadows too that people used to work out what time of day it was roughly?
Yeah.
And it ended up being accurate to a ridiculous degree.
Yeah, well, because that would allow them to figure out would it be longitude or latitude,
something like that, and they knew what state they were in.
Yeah, and
then they mapped. I'm sure someone made a map of the sun moving across the Earth as well.
Yeah, it was nuts. I mean, someone would have to specifically want to be tracking you, but also, still, just from basically a 5-minute video, people were able to figure out exactly where they were. That was just.
I also feel
to the meter.
I also feel that's the kind of thing that could only happen with someone who had a fan base like Tom Scott. If you had a fan base of 9-year-olds, if you're Mr. Beast,
yeah,
I don't think you have to worry so much about your fan base going out and making simulations of the solar path of the to like calculate. I mean, probably he's got enough weirdos.
So the thing is, though, with a lot of YouTubers, you wouldn't even need to do that, because I used to watch this guy who did daily vlogs.
Is that before he left the platform because you stalked him?
No, but I eventually came to the
eventually I just stalked him so much.
No, I eventually came to the conclusion that he was a bit of a tosser. But some people like found out where he lived.
That's the worst.
And went like outside his house, and I was kind of like, right, okay. I wonder how hard it actually is to figure out where he lives, just based off like being someone who's watched his vlogs. Because I knew the like rough area where he lived because he was always talking about it in reference.
Oh yeah.
And then I literally just used Google Street View, and I found it like in 5 minutes. I found his actual house.
Yeah,
and like his car was on the driveway.
Oh my god.
In Google Street View, and I found his office.
Oh wow.
And I was just like, okay, so yeah, I'm going to be way more careful about what I post on the internet now.
That's the thing, right?
That was like scarily easy.
There was now that you mention it, there was someone that I watch occasionally, and he's from the same place as I am.
Yeah, well, that was the
was that what
that made it easier because it was he's from not a place. It was a place near to where I'm from that I'd visited a few times, so I recognised a couple of landmarks as well, which did help. But even so, like it was like I literally drove the route from his office to his house on like Street View.
Yeah, that's like, you have to be so careful about what you put online, because little clues like that, it just takes someone.
Because that's the thing, like over so many videos, if you were like a fan, like over like, because it wasn't all from like one video, it was just like from remembering things, like he'd be vlogging while he was driving, or like and just remembering different things for different videos. So I'd be just like, oh yeah, I recognise that roundabout. Oh yeah, that's that junction where he always does that slow-mo shot when he's on the way to the office, and like it was like, yeah, you just piece little things together. It was like, yeah. Literally just all the stuff from his videos. And
then, there's a shot of him driving, and you can see that it's whatever car, and then...
Yeah. Well, he was always showing off his car. That was part of his video as well. So it was like, yeah.
Was it a Tesla?
No, it was a Mini Cooper S John Cooper Works.
I was going to say, that's like, if it would have been... Probably if it would have been a Tesla, ironically, that he was showing off, you'd have much more difficulty finding.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They're common as muck these days.
Yeah, exactly.
Although, to be fair, back then they weren't. This is probably pre the Model 3, actually.
Oh, so this would have been like real Tesla hype.
Yeah. Like Teslas were still, especially in the UK, were probably quite rare then. Still.
Again, Tom Scott never bought a Tesla as far as we know. Maybe he did.
I don't even know if he owns a car.
I think he lives in London, so I guess it wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah. I mean, we know he drives.
That's true. We have seen him drive. We know what Matt drives because we've seen his car.
Have we?
Actually, no. That was his old car from that video when they parked it outside. Or no, when they were doing that race across London.
Oh God, yeah. Oh my God, that's a blast from the past.
Mm.
This episode so far has turned into a Tom Scott reminiscent sort of episode. We're gonna miss you, Tom Scott.
Yeah. In case you can't tell, we're big fans of Tom Scott. Do you think he'll ever come back to that channel? I mean, obviously, I don't think we're gonna see like amazing places and stuff.
I don't think we've seen the last of him now.
Oh,
but
no, I don't think so.
I think I'm interested to see what he does next. I don't necessarily know whether I'll be a fan of what he does next, and I'm okay with that.
And I'm excited for the prospect of maybe more technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Speaking of, if you are a fan of Tom Scott, I'd like to personally recommend you check out Matt Gray Tries.
Have you watched it?
I've watched a couple of them.
Are they good?
They're pretty good. They're They're basically that one that Tom Scott did, where he tried lots of different things. But with Matt doing it.
Fair enough.
So it's not like an exact copy. But if
I wish the two of them would like buddy up and do that together.
I know that would be
the dynamic between the two of them.
It is good.
It's like the greatest thing since Ethan and Kieran
since the scrambled checksum,
buddied up to make a podcast. Like a humble brag.
So yeah, we love Tom Scott. Do you think we'll see more creators sack off the platform?
I don't know, but if I were to find out, I'd want to find out in the most ad-free way. I think.
Oh,
I hear you. Yeah, I heard that you might have recently just picked a methodology of doing that and might have some stuff to talk about.
Yeah, so I've been strong-armed. Not strong-armed.
Strong-armed?
Not strong-armed.
That's quite the allegation. Thankfully, we're on the scrambled checksum, so you can't take anything we say seriously.
No, I'll say strong-armed actually, because I did feel strong-armed.
Okay.
Strong-armed by the platform to get YouTube Premium, and I resisted, and I finally caved, and I've got YouTube Premium because I got sick of the ads, and it was just too many that were like 35, 45 seconds. You know, in December you get more ads because everyone's pushing the Christmas products.
Yeah.
And it just drove me to the point where I couldn't take it anymore. And I'd had a free trial a while back, so if you're wondering, YouTube, yes, that did work. It was thanks to the channel Fireship, also a very good channel. Anyway, I now have YouTube Premium.
Okay. How long have you had it?
I got it in about a week ago.
Okay.
So I'm only about
still
a week
in the honeymoon period.
Well, the thing is, it's not even a honeymoon period. I don't like that. I feel like I didn't feel good about buying it because firstly I think it's expensive.
Yeah.
Because you look at like the list of features, and I'm not a fan of Amazon, but you look at what you get for like the £8 on Amazon Prime.
For now.
Well,
so that's a whole other topic.
That is a whole other topic.
Completely forgot about.
We'll maybe cover that next time.
Yeah.
I know exactly what topic that is, and that'll be a bit more timely next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's Amazon Prime. You look at what you get for that, and it's like, you know, I don't like Amazon. I try not to buy from them, but like, it's a good value offer for now. YouTube is I think it was £13 a month, or it might even be $13.99. I can't remember whether it's $12.99 or $13.99.
Look at this guy, big baller. Can't even he doesn't even remember how much his subscriptions are. He's got so much money, it doesn't matter. You wouldn't even notice if he wasn't using it.
For £1 a month.
He wouldn't even notice if he had like 5 YouTube Premium subscriptions. It wouldn't make a dent.
So actually, I don't understand that, to be fair, about all those tools that are like, oh, we'll tell you about subscriptions and you can cancel. Who the hell is spending like £15 a month and just not realising?
Yeah, I know. That's like such a...
Oh, my HelloFresh, of course. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I wondered why all these random packages of rotted food were always outside my third home whenever I visited.
That explains all of my Dollar Shave Club packages that are arriving at the summer house.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. How can you be so oblivious? I thought it was weird how my bank account was always empty even though I got paid.
Yeah, it's like I agonised over signing up to that YouTube Premium. Agonised.
Yeah. Were there any spreadsheets involved?
There were no spreadsheets. It worked out pretty well because I cancelled a different subscription that was almost the same amount.
Okay, yeah. So
it was like for like. So it wasn't an extra pain point. If it had been, I wouldn't have got it. But I feel bad because the freaking ads drove me to it, and I know that they're just going to get worse and worse. I've encouraged them. I feel like because they're turning the screws, and the ads are getting ridiculously long.
You see, I haven't found that ad block has stopped working. I don't know about you.
I didn't have that. My problem was I watched YouTube almost exclusively on my TV. I know there's ways around it, but I never bothered to explore them.
Did you need to get a pie hole?
It literally did at that point feel like I'd have to spend as much time and effort. It felt like I'd spend so much time and effort doing it, and I felt like I'd constantly be fighting against it being subverted by YouTube.
Yeah.
That it just wasn't worth it to me. I saw the things that were happening with AdBlock, and that frustrated me too. And then, I just... And it doesn't feel that great, because I know that I don't think the creators get that much more from YouTube Premium. I forget what the deal is. I think they get like more from my view than an ad view, but it's not. It's more, but like it's not on the level of like Patreon.
I think it's more consistent, isn't it?
I think they get a higher CPM.
Yeah.
And I think it's quite a bit higher than just like an ad user.
But if you had to choose between, like if you think say hypothetically though, like you watch 10 YouTube channels consistently.
Yeah.
But you can't afford to be a Patreon member or whatever for all 10 of them.
I guess the argument is
on net across the 10 of them, it's probably better you having YouTube Premium and them all getting a little bit of
than just supporting
one of them like having Patreon.
I guess the argument is you spend $1 a month on each of them.
Yeah.
But then the thing is, it still doesn't help.
But then you get none of the perks.
And then you don't get any of then you get the ads.
Yeah.
So I still get the ads. And then I also still, anytime I watch any other YouTube videos from like a corporation, and by the same token, I don't begrudge paying for YouTube as like a service, to be fair. I wouldn't want to see YouTube go away.
Yeah, I'm not
one of these.
I'm so conflicted about it.
It's such a tough one. I wish it was independent.
Yeah.
If YouTube was independent and didn't have all those ties to Google, I would like gladly pay like 20 quid a month for it.
Oh yeah. I think I would as well. Yeah. Google is or like YouTube is the one Google service that I cannot get out of my life.
I think that and Maps for me.
Yeah, Google Maps. There's I don't know if they can be a privacy alternative.
I guess the only alternative, because like there is an alternative for the maps, I guess, in that like you buy a dedicated sat nav. I believe they're still being made by like Garmin or TomTom or something.
Yeah, but they're all shit.
They're nowhere. They feel like you're buying tech from
Google
25
Maps.
years ago.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are not terrible. Like you get live traffic data, and stuff, but you have to pay like ridiculous subscriptions.
That's the thing. I mean, it's like 80 quid to get a map update.
Yeah,
that's still not as good as Google.
And it doesn't do it. Yeah, exactly. Like,
it's
like why would you pay for that when you can get something better for free?
And the thing is, as well, like
and you don't have to carry an extra device around with you either.
They have all the business hours on there because people are invested in putting their businesses on Google Maps.
Yeah.
They update them. You get reviews.
Because I mean, like there's Open Maps, isn't there?
Yes.
But that doesn't do navigation. It's literally just a map.
Exactly. I think Open Maps is also like funded by people who don't want to pay to use the Google Maps API. Because it was a while back now. Google had charges for using the Maps API for like showing. I think they charged you even to just have the Map API load on your website.
Oh, I just like
have it like show
like
find
where
us.
people have like the embedded.
Yeah, it's really generous in terms of like how many views you get before they start charging you.
Yeah.
You can have like thousands. It's basically if you're like Uber though, or Deliveroo.
That's fair enough, really.
Yeah.
I mean, even Google's got to eat.
Exactly. So. If you're like Deliveroo or Uber and you can save like 10% off of your like Maps API fees that you're paying to Google, like with the amount of requests that you're sending, it's like worth it. So I think that's what Open Maps is more like.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day because I was thinking about I've been looking at Lineage OS again and thinking about could I actually live with a de-Googled Android OS?
Yeah.
And the two things that came into my head were Google Maps.
Yeah.
Android Auto.
That's true.
I don't know whether Android Auto is. I'm assuming Android Auto must be part of like the Google Play services.
Has to be. They be if they haven't, then it's surely gonna be.
Yeah.
And the thing is, what do you use as an
open source?
Yeah, because no auto manufacturer is going to support one.
Yeah.
Apart from maybe Tesla, will just like a meme and then forget about it and deprecate it.
But Tesla won't though, because they just do their own thing, don't they, with it built in?
Yeah. So
a load of what was it? because I think they have to pay a licensing fee for having the integration.
I'd imagine so.
GM or General Motors in the US announced recently that they're going their own way. They're not going to have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay in their cars, and they made up some like bullshit reason that it was like, oh, it's distracting or something.
All right.
But they are going to have a load of like the services that you can use through those, but it's going to be built into the software in the car, and surprise, surprise, for a subscription fee.
Oh, it's turning into like
for safety reasons.
For safety, subscribe for safety.
For safety reasons. Yeah.
Subscribe because people totally won't subvert that by just having their phone propped up in a cradle.
Yeah, fuck that.
Oh,
it's just worse.
That's crap.
Yeah, car manufacturers are just don't try to do software. You're all shit at it.
Yeah, they literally.
Apart from Tesla.
Yeah, apart from Tesla, they all suck at it.
Yeah. The best one that I have used is to date, and obviously this is partially just me being used to it, is the one in my car, because it's so basic that there's nothing annoying about it.
That's the mistake they make. They go too advanced.
Yeah, it's got Bluetooth audio, it's got DAB radio, FM radio, AM radio, and you can do phone calls on it. They're big fuck off icons, easy to press. Like when you tap on them, it's responsive. Things are where you expect them to be, and no frills. It's simple and it works. The minute they try to do anything more complicated than that, it's a pain in the arse.
Is it responsive too? Because that always pisses me off.
Oh yeah.
Like, you see the software and you like tap on the icon and it's like just long enough that you have to look at the screen to see if you've tapped the right area.
Yeah, my car that costs or at least new costs approximately a quarter of what my dad's car cost, is way more responsive on the infotainment system. It doesn't have anywhere near the number of features, but it is way more responsive.
Yeah, like that's the
and
key.
less frustrating. Like I might be able to do more in my dad's car, but when I want to do it, it's almost every time annoying to do. And in my car, it's done in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, there's nothing more frustrating than like a 10 millisecond delay on every input.
Yeah. Oh, and those fucking messages that come up when you start the car saying, looking at this screen whilst driving can be distracting.
Yeah, that would honestly...
That they legally have to have.
Why is that?
It's so annoying.
Because, like, what are you supposed to do then? If it's like, oh, I want to control the aircon, I better
Basically,
not,
what it forces you to do if you're in a hurry is you pull off the driveway while you're waiting for that message to disappear after, like, 15 seconds or whatever, and then end up actually controlling the screen while you're driving instead of... Yeah. I mean, you never do that. Like, obviously, I pull over and responsibly operate the screen.
If I had a car that did that, I would honestly have to, like, find some kind of gadget that would like jankily slam something into that screen.
We need a Simone Yates like invention, I think.
Yeah, it needs something like as soon as like a prosthetic finger.
It could be almost like that. Do you remember those pointless box? Pointless button box. Or pointless switch boxes where basically it's like you flick a switch and then this little trap door opens and a finger pokes out and flicks the switch back the other way. And then it closes.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about fidget toys for a second, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, like one of those. You just need like one of those fingers where it basically just like when you start the car, it pops up and just presses OK on the touchscreen and then disappears.
Yeah, just for God's sake, yes, OK.
It'd almost be like a Wallace and Gromit sort of contraption. I watched Curse of the Were-Rabbit over Christmas again, and It has like in the little van they've got a button that says auto start, and instead of it being like turning over a starter motor, a little like hand pops out of this door in front and then turns the hand crank.
Exactly that. That's what you need.
It's something like that.
Yeah,
it's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, some kind of janky friggin' thing to push that button.
Yeah.
But yeah, to sum up my YouTube Premium experience, I'm enjoying like not having the ads. I think charging people for background play when you used to have it for free, I remember, is
I still do have it for free.
Yeah, you've got the
workaround. I just use Firefox with
enable that service.
I think it's better YouTube playback or something as the add-in, I think.
Yep. So if you just want it for like yoga or something like that, as they say in the ad, that pisses me off. It's nice having YouTube Music. Like I would use that as my music platform, and I feel like I'm saving on having Spotify as well.
You didn't have Spotify anyway, did you?
I do not have any music streaming, so it's nice to have like both of them. And unlike Amazon, it isn't like you get some of them, but then you have to pay more to get the rest of the catalog. Which is stupid. But yeah, just overall frustrated that it's costing me £14 a month.
Yeah, you see, yeah. It's
but I gotta stick
you
with
mentioned Amazon. So Amazon do that with Amazon Music then, as well as Prime Video.
Oh yeah, it's exactly the same like Prime Video. So you'll search for a song and you'll see they've got it, but it's like, want to listen to this song? Upgrade to Amazon Music Premium or whatever it's called.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
So it's like you see it's on there.
So that's how they get away with having the lower price than everyone
else.
Yeah,
because you get Amazon Music, but you get Amazon Music like shit
beta
tier.
version.
Yeah, you get the Amazon Music like. It's fine if you don't want. It wasn't
B-Tech.
Ironically, it wasn't too bad for me because a lot of my music was more like it wasn't anything super popular, so it.
Yeah,
was
I
less
like to listen to some like more niche underground. I like to listen to more. You wouldn't have heard of it.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't have heard of them. Like if you want to listen to like Taylor Swift or anyone, it's like good luck.
Yeah.
And they claimed it was higher quality, like higher bit rates. I think if you got premium, but it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I am well on the way on my journey of ditching Spotify. I purchased a CD for the first time in ages.
Oh yeah, so
the other week. Yeah.
So speaking of your quest, you're taking back ownership. Ownership of your music,
and my visual contents as well.
All visual content.
Yeah. I've built up quite a substantial library. I'm making quite good headway of ripping every single DVD in this house, CD as well. Uploading Linux ISOs to my server.
Of course, lots of Linux ISOs. So here's my question. So, is there, just to play devil's advocate here, is there a difference between buying the physical media, ripping it, and then selling the physical media for a very similar price to what you paid, than downloading quote-unquote Linux ISOs?
No.
Because it's like, is it?
But that's not what I'm doing.
I'm keeping
the physical.
My other question was going to be: does it make it better if you then keep the DVDs?
Yeah, in my opinion, it does because
you sleep more soundly knowing that you have.
As much as I don't like to align myself with currently until the jury's settled with one-liner Sebastian. I do agree with his sentiment that whilst it might be technically illegal to rip DVDs, I feel like morally it's completely fine because I've paid for the content. I own that DVD. It's mine.
Yeah, in my mind,
I'm not like making copies of it. I'm not making it available to anyone who couldn't physically have walked into my room and picked up the DVD and put it in a DVD player and watched it. Like, so
yeah, in my mind, that's absolutely fine.
Who's the victim?
Like, it's not even a lost sale. It's like you've paid for it, albeit on the like second-hand market or whatever. You've legally acquired it.
Exactly.
You just don't want to have to go up, get the disc, and maintain a DVD player.
Yeah, and also DVDs get scratched and it's plus it's just like it's a better experience as well. Like it remembers where I am in a box set series or I get a load of additional like cast information and like
you can skip through it a lot easier than a DVD.
It's just better.
Yeah, I think the ripping approach. How are you going with acquiring the audio?
I have discovered a piece of software. This is how I think I'd just been like looking at random stuff. I think because I've kind of gone down the rabbit hole of the whole like self-hosting and everything. The information I need for various projects just seems to just appear to me as if by magic in my YouTube feed. So I can't remember who made the video, but there was a video that popped up in my channel basically like saying that it was just like the complete guide to ripping your own content. And basically there's a piece of software called Make MKV, which you can use to rip Blu-rays or DVDs.
Ooh, Blu-rays too.
Yeah, and it literally it'll scan the disc and then comes up with all the various video files. It can see all the chapters and everything, all the different subtitles, like literally everything. And then it, as you'd expect from the name, rips them to an MKV file, and then I transcode them using Handbrake from there.
Wow, so you've got like, how extra are you going to go on doing like your own online services?
What do you mean?
Like, are you going to try and spin up your own equivalent of like Spotify? So you've got like, obviously not with like the algorithms and all that, but so you've got like a searchable catalog.
I mean, so far, I'm experimenting. I'm building up the database mostly as it was at the moment, which is enabling me to also experiment with various tools. So at the moment, for streaming, I'm using Jellyfin, which is working really well for video. I'm not a huge fan of how it handles audio content, though.
What does it do?
It's more just like the way it catalogs things is a bit janky, or just I don't know. Like if it's fine as long as there's not like multiple artists on the same album.
Oh.
And then it kind of the way it lists them is not great, and you can't really customize it, which is annoying.
Yeah, so if you have like a compilation album, that's a problem.
Yeah, and it's just I don't know. I'm still kind of experimenting with it, but I've also a really annoying thing is you can only download individual tracks. You can't tell it to download an album. Like, there's no button for it.
Oh no!
And when you do download them, you don't then play them through the app. It doesn't like go, oh, this is your offline catalog. It just downloads it to your phone.
Oh, and then you play it with VLC or whatever.
So I've just copied my entire ripped audio library to my phone, and I'm just playing it through VLC, which
Ethan's
is working.
offline Spotify.
Yeah, which is working kind of fine, to be honest. So far, I'm kind of experimenting with that. I'm going to try out a few other apps. But now I've got a substantial library. I can play around with various apps, and so I'm still figuring it out. But yeah, my goal is to eventually ditch Spotify, or basically only ever use it for discovery.
Nice. Yeah, that's the only thing that you lose out on with having like a certain collection is the discovery. You have to kind of go away and do that yourself.
Yeah, so basically the offline stuff, like the stuff that's in my library would be stuff that I would have added to offline. So if I really like an artist, I'll just buy the album.
Yeah.
And then I have it forever.
And then you kind of do the discovery every now and again through free online. Like, you're not bothered about ads if you're just using it for discovery.
Well, YouTube's pretty good for discovering music as well.
See, I find YouTube is good for discovery to a point, but when I use my like, if I try and use YouTube Music on my phone for discovery, I end up with like, I've probably got like a pool, I think, of about 150 songs. So not that many that YouTube just keeps cycling through for me.
Right,
it seems to have trouble like playing me stuff that I haven't already heard or I haven't already liked.
Yeah.
I want to like tweak it. I want it to give me stuff that's similar to what I've already listened to, but I'm not afraid of like having stuff I've not heard before that I might not like. It seems terrified that I'm going to hear a song and be like, I don't like this, and skip it.
Yeah.
So it's like optimized 100% for like, it feels like anyway, it's optimized for listen time.
Yeah.
So it just keeps giving me songs that I've already interacted with before. And like,
Spotify's not that much better.
Really? I heard Spotify was like amazing for it.
It is pretty good, but it does throw in Yeah, it does throw in quite a lot of stuff that you already listen to.
I wonder if they just copied Spotify's in that case. And it was like, oh, that gives you.
I don't know. I think to be fair, I'm probably being a bit harsh. Spotify's is fairly good.
I just wish it had I don't know. I wish I had some levers to pull. I feel like I've got these set playlists.
Yeah.
But none of them give me the option of like I'm feeling in a really like discovering music mode. You know, some days you like just want to hear songs that you like. But
you know what I have been discovering though is I've actually been re-embracing listening to like radio.
I literally was going to say radio as a joke of like, oh, you know,
like seriously though. But like that's what
like
people
FM?
used to do. No, like DAB. There's so many stations on DAB.
That's true.
These days,
like AM radio.
Yeah, no, not AM. Quality's awful. Fuck that. But like DAB, honestly, there's so much stuff. Like, there's so many stations. It's ridiculous.
What do you do? Just pick a genre and then like listen to.
Well, no, to be honest, the one I've been listening to most recently is I think it's a relatively new station in the UK called Greatest Hits.
Well, that just sounds like it's going to be top 40.
No, it's a lot of old school. So it's genuinely good. Like you'll find yourself like pretty much every song they play on there. You're like, oh my god, I love this song.
But it's
mostly stuff that it's mostly stuff that
everyone universly, no matter what your music taste is.
Like for me, but there's lots of different radio stations, isn't there? Is my point.
Yes,
like
you can good for Ethan.
Yeah, but you can scan through random ones. You just like pick a just like seek. Boom, there's a station. Oh, I like this. And see what happens. You know, discovering it. There's Radio 6 Music. That's really good for discovering new artists and stuff.
To be fair, I did used to listen to that a bit more.
Yeah. So there's all sorts. Like, the radio is actually quite, you know, that's what people used to do before these streaming services.
Oh, exactly. Yeah,
it was way more beneficial to the artists as well. And so, if you like it,
I guess I'll just find like I don't know, someone's bedroom drum and bass DAB station.
Yeah, and
if you run a bedroom DAB, DAB.
DAB.
Yeah.
Do they even have DAB outside of like Europe? I don't think it is a thing.
I have no idea.
I think it's a European thing, isn't it? DAB.
I know nothing about the tech. I don't know how it's broadcast.
It's digital. I know that.
Yeah. Do you have any idea how it works?
I'm pretty sure it's a European standard. I know they don't have it in the US.
Well, how does it work though?
It's in the microwave spectrum somewhere, and it's just it's very similar to how like Freeview works.
I guess so. Yeah, 'cause I guess Freeview you need the antenna to pick up.
Yeah.
You
still have frequencies for different stations. But
that's so weird to me.
But you don't ever like look at what the frequency is.
That's weird to me. So they still have to like license the frequency then with like whoever.
Yeah, because I think because it's not like streaming. So your radio doesn't talk back to the broadcaster to request a specific thing. It's one way. But so I think it can scan and basically each. I assume how it works is so like each station has like a broadcaster ID. So your radio you can go scan and it'll then compile a database of everything that it can pick up, and then you just select which one you want.
And there's I assume there's like they're tied to different bands, so it's like. You can't just have like an infinite number of them like you can with streaming. It's like, no, you have to purchase this particular section of the spectrum, and then that's where you broadcast on, and there's like regulations where you can't go outside that, and that's it's so weird to me. But yeah, that's a good point.
It's a different way. But I don't know. I'm like of two minds with it, like because like part of me is like, have you never heard of the internet? But the other part of me is like, redundancy.
You've never heard of AM radio?
Yeah, like why should we rely on one technology?
This is true. It's also
it's like part of me is like, why the fuck does any kind of telecommunication not just go through the internet?
This is true. It's good to have that backup, isn't it? You know, when the internet's down, you're not just like, oh crap, I can't use my phone.
Yeah, exactly. So. Although even BT in the UK are getting rid of the older. They're going VoIP.
Really?
So, yeah.
Oh, that's actually quite sad.
There will not be any copper phone service in the UK after, I think it's towards the end of this year. It'll be phased out completely.
That's actually quite sad.
It'll all be VoIP.
That's actually quite upsetting.
Yeah, but still, mobile phone carriers. It's still I think it's HD voice is the standard. I think, isn't it? Which that's not VoIP based. It doesn't go over the internet.
No, that's not going anywhere. I don't think either.
Yeah, it's
not
still
anytime soon anyway.
Yeah, that's so weird to me though that's a thing. Like SMS and everything and VoIP are, like, even though we have data over mobile, like the fact that we have this separate thing.
The fact that you still can pay to send an MMS.
Yeah.
Like however much they cost.
Yeah. I mean, I know we've got what's it called? RCS. It's like, what is it, like rich text chat service or whatever the fuck it's called. Rich chat service, I think it stands for, something like that. But that's like been dominated by Google taking over the entire thing of what was supposed to be a industry standard or something.
Oh, you don't say.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because everyone's just gone, oh yeah, we've gone from like, oh, it's the new SMS to going, oh yeah, we're just going to use Google's service.
Yeah, well, Google have like come along and implemented it. They've added a few little extra bits. They're not like Microsoft though.
Yeah.
They're definitely completely different to IE6. Taking the HTML standard. Just add a few
Monopoly who?
Yeah, just add a few extra bits. It's better. It's making the internet better. We're adding more features to it. We're developing it.
Yeah,
in a closed source, our ecosystem way.
Yeah,
the best way.
Just don't think about it.
The only way. You just buy
I never thought I'd be on Apple's side with something.
So how far are you gonna take this replatforming? Are you gonna have like spin up your own Google Maps, draw your own?
No, I'm not. I think there's certain things that it's just not practical to do. But
that would actually be quite funny though, right? If you drew your local map and then you did like in pen, like you have each hour of the day, and then you put in pen where the high traffic spots are for every hour of the day.
Yes,
you're like, just set enough to work. Gotta get the old 6 a.m. map. Ooh, heavy traffic on that route. Better take the alternative way.
I'm just gonna hire someone whose job role will be
pre-driving your
route. They'll just sit in my passenger seat with a to Z atlas, and huge reams of paper with historic traffic data on them, and they'll plan my route for me in real time.
Part of me wonders, like, if you. I'm assuming there's some kind of, there might not be some kind of assuming there's some kind of open source historic traffic data, and you had enough of it and enough compute. Could you calculate, obviously not including variables that are out of your control, like if a road closed because of a burst water pipe or something one day, how good could you get your like own with no help from anyone? No, there's no crowdsourced data.
Not very good. I think even if you no-lifed it, it would still be shit.
Really?
I think so, yeah. Because like how just to think about like the colossal amount of data that like data points that like Google or Apple are operating with,
and in real time. That's I think the kicker is that they've got real time data, whereas you've got historic data that you might have 20 years of, but they've got that and real time.
I'm pretty sure Google Maps does get like data from like Highways England and everything as well.
Oh, probably because they've got roadworks and stuff.
Yeah,
they obviously get them.
I don't think it's purely crowdsourced. But
so, do you think you could? What other services are there? So you could do a lot of the like regular ones. You could spin up. You're going to spin up your own email.
So anything content consumption. Absolutely, going to do that. Cloud storage, going to do that.
Yeah, we're working on that.
Email, I'm not sure about. Maybe.
I span up an email server, and it wasn't as difficult.
It's not so much the difficulty; it's more just like I think there's a trade-off at a certain point because I don't want it. Like my main hesitance about doing something like that is just the security side of it.
Oh yeah.
and like having to maintain the security of it.
Yeah, that's true. It's keeping up to date. It'll be secure when you set it up, but then there'll be a vulnerability that you're not up to date with because you're not.
Yeah, like I don't want to become a full-time sysadmin.
As well as a full-time data analyst, full-time.
Yeah, like I want so services that don't kind of just like tick over on their own.
You say that. What about cloud storage?
Well, the cloud storage is not. I say cloud storage just as a kind of catch-all term. It's not. It wouldn't actually be cloud storage.
Has to be sent over the internet.
Yeah, but you just use a VPN service.
That's true.
And yeah, which is what I'm doing. I'm already doing that. So I'm not planning to do any kind of like port forwarding. I'm just going to use a VPN basically.
No. Yeah, no, like always on. What? Yeah, I don't think there's any. We're not exposing any data to being exploited, are we?
I don't think so.
Well, we'll soon find out.
Yeah.
If you find our files, please let us know in the comments, and we'll pay a handsome bug bounty.
Yeah, I'm going to be as obscure as I can with that sort of thing. But yeah, I think but yeah, emails is a whole other kind of worms because it's not you can't. Yeah, and I don't really know what I'm doing with that. So maybe, in answer to your question, maybe one day.
Yeah.
Because you can. There's a lot of stuff like I think like Linode and stuff like you can self-host emails with. There's a load of different services like open source services that you can use for self-hosting emails and blah 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 blah. So, but it's also just like the like. Emails are one of those things. They're so kind of like critical these days that I'm not sure I'd want it tied to a system that could go down and then I'd have to. I'd have to. Yourself. Yeah, that I'd have to. But no, it's more just like the high availability. Like I'm not going to have a server that's high availability. I'm not going to have a rack mount with 4 identical servers like with like fallback protection. I'm not made of money.
That's a good point.
So there's certain things that it's like there's the security, but there's also less practicality. Like you need to have access to them no matter what. So self-hosting them is not necessarily an option. Whether things like cloud storage, like worst case scenario, if my server's like completely dickered, I have to pull a drive out and put them into a dock, and then like manually get the files or whatever. Or
I think we do about Google and the big tech as a business, like their engineers do know what they're doing.
Yeah, like I'm not against using like companies' service. Like there are uses for them. I just want to like I want to have ownership of as much of my own stuff as I can, and with it is within my capabilities practically.
So speaking of that, if you'd like to listen to our next episode, we are actually going exclusive onto our own streaming service.
Yeah, scrambled dot
Scrambula,
net.
Which totally isn't a rip-off of Nebula.
Yeah, Scrambula.
Our streaming service.
Yeah, Kieran will have a video on. I've
got a documentary on the setting up of the process where you'll be able to watch it and learn all the mistakes I made in the setup to then find all the vulnerabilities in it and exploit it.
Meanwhile, I'll do a video on how it makes money.
Yeah, exactly. Ethan will be the business guy. So check us out on there. We're back now, back to our regularly scheduled programming. So you can find us on.
I can't remember.
Right.
Shit! I still need to do the new end card. Jesus. Is Google Podcast sunset now?
Isn't it February?
So it will be by the time this goes out then.
It might be. I actually forget when it's being sunset.
Yeah, I don't care because I'm not using it anymore.
Well, you'll find us on YouTube. I don't even know if it's going to be called YouTube Music. YouTube Music for now, I think.
With like some kind, whatever Google platform that they decide to use for podcasts, we're on there.
YouTube's still up and running, you'll find us on there.
As well as YouTube, Spotify, Pocket Cast,
Amazon,
Deezer, Audible for now.
Not Amazon, yeah.
Until other places.
Re-uploading sites. Our own file server. Yeah,
just like some random RSS feed on the dark web.
Yeah, please watch wherever you are. Like, comment, subscribe.
donate money to us on Ko-fi. We don't have a Ko-fi, but whoever.
If you see a Ko-fi, it's not
If you see a Ko-fi link, they probably need the money. So just,
give it to them, whatever.
Give it to them. Yeah, that's sound advice.
Right, well, Happy New Year, everyone, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
Yes, we shall.
Catch you in the next one.
It's great to be back. Thank you for the podcast, Kieran.
Thank you for
the
continuing
podcast.
to be on the show.
Yeah, this has been fantastic.
Absolutely splendid. Right, we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Quality rendition. That'd be our own music if we didn't suck.